You think maybe when you get a little older, you mellow out a little bit, be a little more like him? Or
No, I don't think so.
Like
I think I'm just going to get worse.
That's good. That's good. I think everybody will enjoy that.
New updates in the Sean Diddy Combs case. The rapper's lawyers make a new bid for bail. His team and prosecutors spar over a gag order about what can and cannot be said about this case.
In a dramatic courtroom incident, Sean Diddy Combs' attorney Marc Agnifilo abruptly exited the proceedings following the leak of tapes allegedly involving the late Aaron Carter. These tapes, which have not been publicly detailed, are said to contain shocking revelations about Diddy's interactions with Carter, particularly around the time of Carter's passing away. The sudden departure of Diddy's lawyer has intensified speculation regarding the potential impact of these recordings on the ongoing legal battles and Diddy's public image.
You think maybe when you get a little older, you mellow out a little bit, be a little more like him? Or
No, I don't think so.
Like
I think I'm just going to get worse.
That's good. That's good. I think everybody will enjoy that.
The controversy centers on tapes that Aaron Carter reportedly referenced before his untimely passing in November 2022. His body was found in a bathtub at his home in Lancaster, California. The Los Angeles County Coroner's Office later determined the cause of passing to be drowning, with no signs of foul play. Carter had struggled with health issues and substance misuse for many years, a battle that was widely documented in the media. His passing marked the end of a turbulent life that had been filled with both success and personal challenges.
I refuse to let that be my story. Maybe it's better for me.
I want to be a family with Aaron. I don't know if you can find it in your heart to forgive. It's been so bad for so long, and we've had so many tragedies in our family. I just wish you would find it in your heart to forgive me, but if you can't, I will understand.
When you're weak, I'm weak. But you gave up your dreams to help me achieve mine. You always tried to protect me, and I didn't want to listen. I'm sorry for that. You ready, beautiful?
It's made a big difference already in my life. I can just only imagine what's going to happen in 10 months and then 10 years from now.
While the exact contents of the tapes remain undisclosed to the public, insiders suggest they contain audio and video recordings that could implicate Diddy in various controversial incidents. These revelations have the potential to further tarnish Diddy's reputation, which has already been marred by past allegations of misconduct and exploitation within the music industry.
Silence breaker for my brother, who is a and they're after my life. My whole family is after my life, and they're setting me up. And Sony Records owes me $3.5 million, and they don't want to pay me, and it would be in their better interest, just like Michael told me. They owe me money, and they're trying to off. And I'm begging you and I'm pleading you, help me raise $100,000 as soon as I can so I can move to an undisclosed location where I am safe. They had cops come and check for a rope in my garage saying I wanted to hang.
I find this all super crazy because at the same time, Aaron Carter was also saying that Sony was involved in this plot to unalive him. And during this time, the Backstreet Boys had came back and they were still signed under Sony.
During a critical court hearing, Diddy's attorney was reportedly presented with a transcript or summary of the leaked material. Eyewitnesses described the attorney's reaction as a mix of disbelief and outrage. After a heated exchange with the judge and opposing counsel, the attorney abruptly left the courtroom, leaving those present in shock.
Nick's brother, Aaron Carter.
Right.
A lot of people keep forgetting Aaron Carter was begging for help, begging for independent financing, begging for security. He made it very clear Sony was out to get him, just like Michael Jackson told him they would be. And right around that time, his brother had just been accused of graping one of the girls from making the band, Diddy's entity. And they were trying to make all of that go away. And Aaron called his brother out. And then the next thing you know, he said, if anything happens to me, I did not do this to myself. and then he was gone.
Marc Agnifilo, a key defense attorney for Diddy, has a history of representing high-profile and controversial clients. With extensive experience in complex cases involving racketeering, trafficking, and white-collar crimes, he has built a reputation for handling high-stakes legal battles. His past work includes defending Keith Raniere in the NXIVM case, where Raniere was ultimately convicted of trafficking and racketeering, an association that has drawn both criticism and recognition of Agnifilo's legal expertise.
That Diddy be transferred to a different jail in New Jersey. And the point person behind that request and Diddy's team is defense attorney Marc Agnifilo. If that name is familiar to you, it may be because you've heard it before. He's repped several high-profile defendants, like the NXIVM cult leader Keith Raniere and Roger Ng, a former Goldman Sachs banker convicted of bribery and money laundering. We'll get to those cases in a second, but first, a bit about Agnifilo's history. He received a bachelor's degree in philosophy and political science from Connecticut College in 1986. In 1990, he received his Juris degree from Brooklyn Law School, and while there, even received the American Jurisprudence Award for Outstanding Performance in Trial Advocacy.
Speculation surrounding the link between Carter and Diddy grew after leaked recordings allegedly captured Carter speaking about unsettling encounters with powerful figures in the music industry. These recordings, introduced as evidence in a legal battle, shed light on the difficulties Carter faced and sparked discussions about the hidden struggles within the entertainment industry. The public responded quickly, with fans and analysts demanding greater transparency and accountability.
I go on my Twitter and I see people saying, "You look like you have AIDS, you should go die." I don't understand how I dedicated 22 years of my life to my fans, and now they turn on me.
Do you regret ever getting involved in
I didn't have a choice. It got bad when I was about 15 years old, because when I did MTV Cribs, the day that I had to go show off that house, my mom and my dad told me, "We're getting a divorce, but you still have to go do this." I had to go show off all the stuff my whole life that was going to be taken away from me.
The tape's emergence coincided with broader investigations into misconduct within the industry. Federal authorities are reportedly examining claims related to influential individuals, including allegations of manipulation and exploitation. These investigations have drawn attention to long-standing patterns in the entertainment sector, particularly regarding the treatment of young stars.
My gut was telling me not to believe this story, and my gut is almost always right. A rep for Aaron Carter spoke to the media saying that the late singer and his estranged brother, Backstreet Boy Nick Carter, had reconciled before his death. Well, now, a source close to Nick Carter says that is not true and explains what really happened, which is not what we were told by Aaron's rep.
Diddy's legal team has denied the allegations and questioned the authenticity of the leaked tapes. During a court hearing, tensions escalated when his attorney expressed frustration over how the tapes were being used, leading to a dramatic exit from the courtroom. This incident underscored the high stakes involved in the case and the broader implications for the entertainment industry.
In our Law and Justice lead, another shocking turn in the case of Sean Diddy Combs. Prosecutors, as you know, say that the music mogul committed some unspeakable acts, and now they're saying that he's engaging in witness tampering from behind bars. How do they know that? Well, through evidence that Diddy's attorneys say the feds should never have been able to obtain. They are accusing federal prosecutors of what they call outrageous misconduct. Personal notes that allegedly contain attorney-client defense strategies, were seized from Diddy's New York jail cell. Combs' legal team calls that search a violation of his constitutional rights, and they're demanding an evidentiary hearing.
Aaron Carter rose to fame in the late 1990s as a young artist, known for his catchy songs and lively stage presence. His albums, such as Aaron's Party, Come Get It, became staples of early 2000s pop culture. Despite his early success, Carter later faced significant personal and professional challenges. His openness about his struggles endeared him to fans, but it also painted a picture of someone navigating an unforgiving industry.
der Mann, der hier auf der Bühne so richtig einheizig ist. Wirst du ordentlich Schwingen machen? Machst du das?
Throughout his career, Carter openly discussed his experiences of being manipulated by influential figures in the music industry. He frequently spoke about the intense pressure he endured as a young performer, attributing it to individuals and structures that, in his view, prioritized profit over the well-being of artists.
Patriots, this is a hot update. Patriots, check in. The Diddy news is about to drop. Jaguar Wright just made a video talking about how Aaron Carter was going to expose the diddler and the Hollywood elite. He even put a video message out on his page saying that if something happened to him, it was allegedly that Sony Music owed him $3.5 million, right? And he said his family was coming after him. He told us that everything was about to collapse and come down, and then we know what happened to Aaron Carter.
In the years leading up to his passing, Carter made cryptic comments about figures in the entertainment industry. He alluded to uncomfortable experiences and described situations that many interpreted as indicative of systemic exploitation. Around the same time, Combs was facing legal scrutiny related to his role in the industry and allegations of misconduct involving other prominent individuals.
Aaron Carter tried to tell us about Diddy. Right before Aaron Carter passed away, he said that his brother was a Melissa Schumann, who sued Nick Carter for SA, was in a girl group called Dream, and they were owned by Diddy. In her lawsuit, she alleges that Nick Carter first hit on her when she was 16 years old on a music video shoot with Diddy. And baby, her accusations against Nick Carter sound super similar to Diddy's. Around the same time that this woman is claiming these allegations against Nick Carter, he was known to be at Diddy's white parties. And when Aaron Carter told us about his brother, he said because he outed all of this information, people were coming after him and trying to unalive him.
Legal analyst Bruce Rivers has weighed in on the potential consequences Diddy faces, focusing on the implications of federal sentencing guidelines for RICO and trafficking charges. These guidelines are known for their severity, particularly when defendants face multiple allegations that create a pattern of organized acts. Rivers noted that if Diddy were found guilty of these serious charges, he could potentially face life in prison, with no opportunity for parole in federal cases.
They just executed 2 search warrants. They've got obliterated serial numbers on firearms. They've got videos and baby oil. You know, what he needs is somebody to tell him what the truth is. You are f***ed. You are absolutely f***ed. You're going to prison for the good portion of the rest of your life. I guarantee you, they've offered immunity to the people around him so that they testify. And separate from the freak-offs, Combs, among other things, hit, kicked, threw objects at, and dragged victims at times by their hair. And you keep in mind, these victims are going to come in and testify. Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids.
The RICO charges against Diddy form the core of the prosecution's case, encompassing multiple allegations under a statute typically used to combat organized acts. RICO laws allow prosecutors to argue that various alleged wrongdoings, such as trafficking, misconduct, or forcing, were interconnected within an organized framework, potentially creating a daunting situation for Diddy's defense.
And then there are possible gun crimes. The FBI seized 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, quote, in or about March 2024 during searches of Combs' residence in Miami, Florida and Los Angeles, California. Law enforcement seized firearms and ammunition, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers, as well as a drum magazine. Now, penalties for a RICO conspiracy include up to 20 years in federal prison, but Combs could face an even longer term due to the underlying predicate crimes, trafficking and prostitution, among others. The government is seeking forfeiture of any assets or property derived from or involved in the criminal enterprise. But that raises the question, why RICO at all? There's lots of illegal stuff that's illegal on its own here. Well, the obvious answer is probably the statute of limitations.
We'll turn our attention to Sean Combs, where this afternoon we expect the music mogul to be back in court for a bond hearing. That is set at 3:30 this afternoon in Manhattan. Combs pled not guilty on Tuesday to federal trafficking and racketeering charges. An indictment says he, quote, engaged in a persistent and pervasive pattern of abuse towards women and other individuals. He was arrested earlier this week.
For Diddy, this means his defense must dismantle the prosecution's narrative that an organized framework underlies the allegations, which include alleged trafficking and possible organized wrong acts.
Cassie Ventura's lawsuit described this scenario. She met Combs when she was 19 and he was 37. Quote, within months, in February 2006, Ms. Ventura signed a 10-album deal with Mr. Combs' record label.
I wanted, Cassie to, everybody to meet Cassie. Y'all know that's Cassie. And hear the story directly from my mouths.
Once she was financially dependent on Combs, he then, quote, asserted complete control over Ms. Ventura's personal and professional life.
Defense attorney Tini Garagos has drawn notable comparisons between Diddy's case and those of Harvey Weinstein and R. Kelly, both high-profile cases that similarly faced intense public scrutiny and controversial narratives.
It's not all the time they say this, but they say this is going our way. Not the bail. They say we have them. We got a lot of people who are going to talk and say that this is what Diddy was about, and some people may pass it off as hip-hop culture, but it is a series of felonies and RICO. What do they have wrong?
They did say in court today, they've talked to 50 witnesses. We said the same thing. We've been doing a parallel investigation at every single step of the way, talking to every single there's the same kind of universe of people here that he's been around. We're talking to people to show that we have a case. He's fighting. He's innocent, and he's going to be able to show it.
Innocent means he didn't do any of the wrong things. Not guilty means they can't make the case.
He's
right?
innocent.
So you think he did none of these things? He was never present in any of these activities? This wasn't his lifestyle?
But a lifestyle and being present in activities doesn't mean he committed a crime.
Unless those activities and that lifestyle are criminal.
Her comments underscore the defense's intent to frame Diddy's allegations as largely circumstantial, drawing a line between perception and evidentiary reality.
But those activities and the lifestyle is not criminal. What was notable today, what my partner Marc said in court, is they never once said that these women didn't consent to what happened. Not once.
Can they all have consented, or were they minors and therefore the consent doesn't apply?
No charges relating to minors. None. The difference here between R. Kelly, between Epstein, no charges relating to minors.
So this is all adult consensual activity. People can judge it morally, but legally, you believe he committed no crime.
Maybe it's not what someone here would do in the bedroom, but that doesn't mean that what he did was a crime.
Do you think these revelations will lead to real accountability in the entertainment industry, or will they be swept under the rug? Drop your opinions in the comments below.